A very dramatic Saturday for the Premier League. Let's have a look at some of the results from today's matches and see what that means for the Premier League table right as we go along. So earlier in the day, I watched Burnley versus Chelsea. Now, Chelsea looked okay. It looked okay, looked good. They had some decent players going in. They won 2-0. Pedro Neto and Enzo Fernandez scoring their 2 goals. Burnley really, I think they were out of their depth at the end of the day. But I thought Pedro Neto was probably their man of the match. In fact, there was this other guy, Sanchez, not even Pedro Neto, because he scored the goals, but he did really well. But Andre Santos was probably their man of the match. He did a great job. He was involved in a lot of things, yeah. Anyway, in the end, they scored. I thought Liam Delap, for me, I'm just going to point it out, was quite disappointing. I know he's just come back from injury recently, but it was quite disappointing. He didn't do a lot of things correctly, but he had a couple of chances which he missed. But in the end, I think they were lucky that they were playing only Burnley. A bigger team might have caused them a few more problems, but Enzo Fernandez, one of my favorite Chelsea players. Cucurella was also immense. Loved his play. João Pedro, I wasn't impressed. You know, like when they bought João Pedro and they were at that World Cup funny tournament, which they won, he looked really good, but whatever they've changed recently, I don't think he's playing in the right position. He probably needs to be a bit further ahead and go wide. I don't know. But anyway, whatever happened, they won 2-0, and it looks like they're climbing up the table, doing really well. Let's see. Someone said that despite, where's Chelsea? Chelsea are now in second position with 12 games, and they're sort of 3 points behind Arsenal. Are they title contenders? I don't think so. I think they played a weak team. They probably just had a good fixture, but Chelsea title contenders. I mean, they're in the race. If Liverpool and Man City are in the race, it means they're in the race. But let's be serious. I don't think they'll be, there for a lot of the season because, I'm not sure. Anyway, who knows? Let me stop talking. Bournemouth versus Newcastle United. Now, this ended 2 goals each. Tavernier with a penalty. 81st minute, and then Wilson with both of West Ham's goals. Now, West Ham new manager Nuno Espirito Santo is, I think, playing about with things a little bit. But yeah, they got a draw away from home, which is not to be sniffed at. Especially Bournemouth are not a small team. Even Arsenal struggle with Bournemouth. Some games, you come away there knowing that you'll be given a little bit of a good game. Brighton versus Brentford. Brighton came from behind. They had been trailing from a Thiago penalty, and Danny Welbeck and Hinshaw scored late in the game, 71st and 84th minute, to give them a win. So they'll be buzzing. Great win for them. Fulham beat Sunderland. It's so weird, isn't it? Anyway, Sunderland away, I guess it's different, but Fulham beat Sunderland 1-0. Who scored that goal? Jimenez. Of course, Jimenez scored that goal, but I am hearing that Chukwueze had a really good game when he came on in the 64th minute. So their admin on social media was really praising him for his game. But yeah, Fulham beating Sunderland. I think I said that Sunderland might win. But yeah, Fulham are one of those teams, like last season and the season before last, I thought they were a really steady team, and there were some upsets in their season. So they're pretty good. Wolverhampton versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace beats Wolverhampton 2-0. I reckon Wolves are going down, aren't they? They are so poor at the moment, but with Munoz and Jeremy Pino scoring their 2 goals, 63rd and 69th. Palace are doing so well. I saw a question earlier, someone saying, what are the chances of Palace finishing in the top 4? A very, very tough ask, but they might still make a European tournament. Hopefully this season they will not be compromised like the way they were last season. They should have been in the Europa League, but they ended up being in the Europa Conference, the lower end. And our 2 big games today were Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. I've done a separate preview post-match for those, so go and look for them. Please support your girl. Yeah, so Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest 3-0. I didn't expect that, but it means so much, you know, as an Arsenal fan who has been chasing the consistency of Manchester City and Liverpool for the last 4 seasons. It's nice to see them flounder. Last season, I kept saying that Liverpool were due a bad run last season, and they never had it. They didn't go 2-3 games losing. I think they only lost 1 game or something crazy like that. They were so consistent. They were getting good goals. They were getting favors from the officiating, but it has dried up this season and they are getting pounded really badly. Anyway, Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche took them there and the players played out of their skin, beat Liverpool, the mighty Liverpool, 3-0. Liverpool's defense in the bin and Liverpool are in the mud. So yeah, bye Liverpool. I think they are bye Liverpool. You can see them losing a lot more games. I reckon a team like Sunderland will beat them because I just think so. I think a team like a resilient team can beat them with a bit of skill. Toast. And then the other game that happened was Newcastle United versus Manchester City. Late game. I just finished watching it and I was buzzing through this game because Manchester City looked okay. I thought they would win it pretty easily. At some point, I even said, you know what, I think the Newcastle were missing so many chances. Harvey Barnes was Voldemort had missed 2 sitters. You know, I mean, Donnarumma saved them, but they could have scored 5-6 goals today. And they were missing all these chances. But of course, they had some great goals. Harvey Barnes with 2, Diaz sort of with like well, it went to 1-1 at some point with Diaz scoring a scrappy goal. And then, of course, Newcastle. And then there was also a goal. Was it a goal that was ruled out? What happened? No, Newcastle, yeah, 2-1. Anyway, Newcastle won it. Great result. Great Saturday for Arsenal. And now it is up to Arsenal to make these results today work for them. Let's be honest. You know, they've dropped points. We have got an injury list to to rival any injury lists in the Premier League at the moment. We've got a referee who has got no business refereeing us in the North London derby. We've got Tottenham who are going to be looking to spoil the party once again, facing us in the afternoon. I hope it's not raining. We need as perfect a day as possible to challenge them because our midfield is not the best at the moment in terms of creativity. We've got Eze, who's going to be able to plug that gap, but we needed an Odegaard to maximize and optimize our performance. But we don't have it. It's not the end of the world. I think we can do the job, but we need to make sure it's not a draw and it's a win. A clean 2-0 win. I'll take that and I'll be a happy girl. But yeah, so Newcastle United beat Manchester City 2-1. Let us have a quick look at the table, bearing in mind Arsenal are in top spot with 26 points after 11 games. And then let's look at all these guys up to 7th who have all played 12. So Chelsea go in at 23 points, Man City at 22, Palace 20, wow. Brighton 19, Sunderland 19, Bournemouth 19, and then of course if Tottenham beat Arsenal, they are going to go to 21. So it's possible they'll go up again, but yeah, we don't want that. Okay, we don't want that. And then of course Aston Villa are playing Leeds United as well tomorrow, just before the Arsenal game. So if they beat Leeds, they're also going to go to 21 points. Manchester United are playing on Monday. So for now, that is the Premier League table. We need a win from Arsenal Sunday. And then once we get the win, if we get the win, you have a smiling D tomorrow evening talking to you. But please, Arsenal, please. I just need a stressless, a day, like a week of no stress. We've got Bayern Munich midweek. We need to go into that match with a win. 100%, no excuses. Forget the referee. Let's pretend it doesn't exist for now, yeah? But yeah, so happy days for Arsenal. If Carlsberg did weekends, this would be a pretty perfect weekend for Arsenal. Until tomorrow, you guys, I'll be talking to you soon. I can't wait for the match, and let's see what happens. Let's chat in the comments. Who's going to win? Thank you, guys.